Hello everyone, and welcome to tonight's beer review, which I am dubbing the coronavirus beer review. And we're not going to be reviewing Corona beer, but we're going, coronavirus, I don't know if I'll upload it, or if, by the time I upload it, there'll be millions dead or something, knowing my schedule. But, as we speak, it's 2/27/2020, and containment efforts have more or less failed. It's well on its way to pandemic status, and yeah. So I'm kind of thinking, might not be too soon in the future, too long in the future, that I won't be able to do beer reviews because there won't be any beer other than beer I brew made from rainwater and bananas in the backyard. So, might as well go and review as many beers as possible right now, and pray to God I don't get sick, because there's a pretty damn good chance with my job that I'll get sick. I'm right by the tourist district. I work during a very large, very crammed farmers market with people all over the world, and I'm a first responder, so not a medical first responder, but I'm an on-site first responder. So if this medical incident happens, I have to go and guide the EMTs to the scene, and if need be, apply basic first aid if it falls within my skill set. But enough, enough yammering. Let's just get to the beer review. And we're going to go with something in a growler today. And what's in the growler, you might ask? Something from Lanikai Brewing. That is the brewery right down the street. Well, not really right down the street, maybe about a mile away or so. And this particular beer is called Jankenpo, and which is the name of a game popular in Hawaii that most mainlanders have heard it being called rock, paper, scissors. And it's basically played the same way with the same, hand gestures, and I think Jankenpo and rock, paper, scissors kind of comes from Jankenpo. Jankenpo I believe, is all over East Asia, but Jankenpo comes from the Japanese language, Japanese Americans, and played it when I was a kid. And Jankenpo, I no ken sho, Jankenpo, why they named it that, I don't know, but it is a hazy New England style IPA that has been brewed with lactobacilli added, so kettle sour, and with the adjunct addition of lychee fruit, which I do enjoy. And this is 6.0 ABV, and I am looking forward to drinking this, as you probably may already know. So, let's open this up, shall we? I'm forgetting. How hard it is to open up this growler sometimes. Which is good when it comes to keeping the beer fresh, but it is bad when it comes to making a video and I look like a 98-pound weakling. Let's give this a nice, good pour here. Ooh. I am looking forward to this beer. I always look forward to beer. It's that time of the week when I get to cut loose and enjoy myself. So, a hazy orange here. Unsurprising. Well, golden orange. Somewhat carbonated with a thick white head. Kind of surprising considering that my growler usually doesn't keep the ability to keep a good white head, so great there. Ooh! Yes! Juiciness. Big juiciness there. Ooh. Yeah, maybe it wants to go close. The camera wants to see my beer. Got that nice mineral edge that kind of blends into almost a sweet tart kind of smell. Sweet tart candy. ozone, hints of dank. Not much malt smells, but you generally don't get that from a sour. Really, just like a combination of hazy IPA smells with sour smells, kettle sour smells. And it's a nice blend. Let's get on to the palate, shall we? You know how, like, they say hazy IPAs is kind of like, oh, this is really juicy. This is kind of really grapefruit juice. When you go and add that sourness to it, it really starts to taste like grapefruit juice. Kind of a bit more sour than grapefruit juice, actually, and less sugary at that. So, in the front, very dry. Sourness that intensifies into the mid palate. It's kind of a mineral edge around the fringe of the flavor that stays throughout and into the finish. Nice minerality to it. And a lasting, if somewhat subtle bitterness, and also citric aspect into the long finish. A bit muted in the top notes. You actually smell more of it in the process of sipping than in the mouth when you're kind of drinking it and aerating it in there. And not really any malt notes left there. Between the sourness and the hoppiness, you can't really discern any aspect of the malt bill. Unsurprisingly enough. Now, there isn't much complexity here. That I would say. I'd say that you just basically have like kettle sour sort of tastes combined with the, New England IPA style tastes. And you have them mushed together, and as kind of known from my reviews in the past, I'm not too big on the New England style IPA because they tend to be fairly, you either hit that flavor note or you don't. And so I would say somewhat narrow. I mean, at the same time, it's not really a sublime flavor like, say, a Pilsner would be, in which when you hit that sweet spot, there's just a lot of subtleness that go along with it. New England IPA is big and narrow, so, But I'm enjoying this quite a bit. Mainly because it removes what I find the most objectionable part of the New England IPA style, which is the sweetness, which can often be cloying at times. The sour aspect, the lactobacilli, brings about a bracing dryness to this that I find quite nice. I kind of wished that there's a bit more of a bouquet to it, And I kind of wish, too, that the lychee was a bit more present. As it warms up, you can kind of suss it out of, you know, the bouquet, the glass bouquet, as a sort of top note on top of, you know, the sour and hop notes there. Just so much as a nose note there, but it doesn't really appear on the palate. And between the bitterness and the sourness, it has no chance of really appearing on the palate, which is a little bit sad to me, because lychee is a very interesting flavor, but it's also a very subtle flavor, I find. And again, you know, since it's kind of muted in the mouth, where you're not really getting much effervescent notes, you just kind of enjoy that lychee there as part of the nose as it warms up. Nose bouquet. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it, this is 6.0 ABV. I don't know how many IBUs. It's probably really hard to go and discern IBUs, and at least from a subjective standpoint in a sour, I find. Reading the reviews of this online is kind of interesting, in that a lot of people, you know, say, oh, the sour just destroys, you know, whatever hop aspects there are to it, or vice versa. And honestly, I would have to say the only thing that really gets lost in this is the lychee, and really that's just an adjunct thing. And it's still there. It's not invisible like adjuncts can be with some other beers. You just kind of wish you had a bit more of a presence there, maybe in the finish a little bit, as like a residual note on the palate. But let's see. No. Still not really getting it. Just only in, you know, the glass bouquet. So, nearly 15 minutes in. Let's wrap this up. I don't know if Lanikai still has this on tap. They tend to cycle through beers quite a bit. I know that Three Peaks, they're almost out of this, so if you wanted to go and review this, I don't think I actually have any viewers who live in Hawaii, and drink beer. I have some coworkers that watch this, but they're not really beer fanatics like I am. So, yeah. Get it if you want it, if you can. It's pretty interesting to have a sour New England style IPA. I find it's an interesting intersection of flavor profiles. Mainly just due to the uniqueness. If it was, say, something that was replicated across, I think it would be kind of hard to go and really distinguish itself. But as it is, because of its newness and uniqueness to me, I'm kind of well chuffed by it. And it's nicely drinkable, and you know I like sours anyway, so your mileage may vary there. So, folks, that's your beer review for tonight. I plan on trying to review beers and liquors as much as possible until the Great Plague goes and purges us all from this earth, leaving the world pure for the chickens to take over. Yes, the chickens. That's your beer review for tonight, folks. Cheers.